Biafra, superstars, media.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Biafran Golden Child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you hear my voice. Yes, well, as usual, I'm elated, to have the opportunity of the Biafra Superstars Media to interact with us at every other time. I'm really happy that we can, air our minds and, freely, interact. Yes, we can talk about freedom. We can talk about our ambitions as collective people. We can talk about our hopes and aspirations, especially as far as the United State of Biafra is concerned, as far as the sovereign state of Biafra is concerned. And so you're welcome to this opportunity again, another audio for us to, think about what is happening in Biafra land, what is happening in Biafra regional government in exile based in Finland, what is happening in the general welfare of the Biafra people. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome on board. Yeah. For this morning, I want to bring to our attention, the efforts by well-meaning individuals, both overseas and within. These people are concerned about the lip service, the continuous lip service being displayed by the government of the junta. Yes, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government, which has continued to play deaf ears, continue to play lip service towards the release, of our own Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of people are aware of all the so-called propaganda coming from different segments of the junta called Nigeria. I mean, we heard when governors were all over themselves, shouting, confirming that Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. We saw how the senators, several senators came out and told us Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. We saw how House Arrest members came out, told us Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. We even saw ministers, especially our own daughter, our own sister, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Minister for State for Foreign Affairs, coming over and telling us that she has a privileged information that, our able Prime Minister was coming out soon. I mean, our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu, was coming out soon. And so they have continued to play a lot of lip service. They have continued to, say this and mean that and say this. And everybody is just wondering. Everybody is wondering when this propaganda will stop. I mean, this is the fourth year now, the fourth Christmas that our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu, will be spending under the gulags, under, SSS dungeon. This is the fourth Christmas. That's to tell you 4 years ago, since 2021, when this innocent man, was repatriated in a very controversial manner from Kenya. And they have kept him at the SSS dungeon since then in conditions that are below human standards. Yes, below human standards for no reason except that at that point, the president in power, President Muhammad Buhari, had, insisted that anything about IPOB was, proscribed and described as a secessionist described as a militia, described as a terrorist organization. And Buhari and his, acolytes made sure that Nnamdi Kanu was subjected to the worst level of human existence under the DSS, incarceration. And that is where he has spent the past 4 Christmases. There's 4 years now, and still the government is playing lip service. Yeah. So for this audio, group have expressed worry over the ominous silence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on heeding the call for the release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. Tinubu has painted a picture of indifferent disposition to the persistent demands on him to intervene and use political solution to resolve the lingering impasse surrounding Kanu's detention. In separate statements made available to the media Tuesday, both the American veterans of Igbo descent, in bracket AVID, American veterans of Igbo descent, and a pan-Nigerian youth organization, the 372 Youth Empowerment Network. The 372 Youth Empowerment Network renewed their calls on Mr. President to free the IPOB leader. AVID, American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, in a statement sent by its president, Dr. Sylvester Onya, and Vice President Prince Joe Ndoka, said that Kanu's continued detention is an injustice, adding that injustice to Nnamdi Kanu is injustice to all. The group also noted that the intention of former President Muhammad Buhari to kill off separatist agitation by clamping Kanu into detention and putting him on trial has failed, hence the need for Tinubu to take a conciliatory approach. His popularity, that is Kanu's popularity, has multiplied over the past years, as has his unshakable stand on our collective conviction as a people. His non-violent approach makes him more likable, Avid said. The group stated that Kanu's struggles and the obvious injustice being meted to him, by the Nigerian authorities has won him admirers and disciples across the nation. According to Avid, Nnamdi Kanu remains a brother, son, and father to many Igbos and non-Igbos alike who have associated with him and seen his positive vision for everyone. The veterans appealed to Tinubu to release the IPOB leader without further delay, saying that the reason Kanu must be released immediately and unconditionally now, rather than later, is to distinguish between apples and oranges. We believe that if Nnamdi Kanu is freed today, crimes will go down up to 95%. Whoever questions this may be discreetly supporting and sponsoring insecurity in Southeast and blaming it on Nnamdi Kanu, the group said. It stated that those opposing Kanu's release are simply making money with his infamous and illegal detention, adding that Avid as a body maintains that there's more to gain than to lose when he gets freed. Avid faulted Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State for deviating from his previous position that releasing Nnamdi Kanu would reduce crime in the Southeast. It reminded Soludo that nothing has changed, hence his initial stance remains valid. Hence, while we still believe in his initial position, we strongly disagree with him now for recanting. Avid argued that if the new position of the Anambra governor, is that Kanu's release will not reduce crime in the Southeast, it means that Nnamdi Kanu is not the cause of insecurity in the Southeast. On its part, the 372 Youth Empowerment Network, which describes itself as a pan-Nigerian youth organization, sent out a passionate appeal to Tinubu, urging him to free Kanu on compassionate grounds. Its appeal for immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was contained in a release signed by Mohammed Saidu, President Toyin Dende Komolafe, National Secretary, Chidi Mogugu, National Coordinator, and Danjuma Abubakar Umar, Coordinator Northeast. The 372 Youth Empowerment Network believes that the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be a political masterstroke to bring about lasting peace within the southeastern states of Nigeria and its environs, the group said. The youth network explained that the call for Kanu's release is based on our strong conviction that we must begin to heal the wounds of the past, forgive one another, and jointly advance the cause of a strong, indivisible, and united country called Nigeria. It acknowledged mistakes may have been made, but it is time to move forward in the spirit of forgiveness, brotherhood, reconciliation, and national healing. This is the time in the history of our nation that we need all hands to be on deck to save our dear country from the vagaries of war, criminalities, sectionalism, tribalism, religious bigotry, division, and other vices inimical to the growth and sustainable peace of Nigeria. This is the time in the history of our nation that we need all hands to be on deck to save our dear country from the vagaries of war, criminalities, sectionalism, tribalism, religious bigotry, division, and other vices inimical to the growth and sustainable peace of Nigeria. We appeal to Mr. President to please deploy the instrumentality of his highly exalted office as the father of the nation to immediately order the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from detention to demonstrate his widely acclaimed democratic credentials and love for Ndimbo in particular. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, freedom lovers, these are the opinions of the Avid. Avid, is the Avid is a group made up of, American veterans of Igbo descent. American veterans of Igbo descent. Yes, and it's a non-political organization. And again, we saw the position held by, the youth organization, the Pan-Nigeria Youth Organization, the 372 Youth Empowerment Network. Yes, the Youth Empowerment Network, 372 Youth Empowerment Network, and AVID, American Veterans of Igbo Descent, have, separately made up their plea for, the president of Nigeria, Tinubu, Ahmed Tinubu, to do the needful, use his good office, to bring out, the maximum leader of the Biafran IPOB, the IPOB group, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to grant him his freedom unconditionally. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can all see here that everybody's worried. People are highly agitated. They are wondering why, a serving minister will come up and say, it's time we bring out this man, I have it on special authority. Yes, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be coming out soon. We have it on special authority. And equally on the same vein, governors have come out. Different governors came up and said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released. And we have had meetings with the president, and we can say assuredly that it's coming out soon. We saw when over 50 senators arose and demanded, from their hallowed chambers, they demanded that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Equally, House of Reps members equally stood up in unison with their counterparts at the, Senate, House, and demanded the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We have seen that a lot of lip service have been involved. A lot of people who we thought were championing this cause, people like Naya Baribe, yes, Naya Baribe, senator, and Chief Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, also were one times at the hammerhead of this campaign to release Nnamdi Kanu. But in recent times, we saw how Professor Soludo came up and recanted, saying that he did not think bringing out Nnamdi Kanu would do any magic, would reduce any, of the uncertainties in the southeast. I mean, everybody was shocked to hear the governor of Anambra State, a professor for that matter, come up and say, no, bring him out may even worsen the situation, may worsen the insecurity in the southeast, and environ might even exacerbate matters, so that the government should live in the DSS dungeon. I mean, these are things we hear and we begin to wonder what kind of air these people breathe. What kind of brain do they have? What are they thinking? Their own brother, their own son, their own relative, bone of their bone, flesh of their flesh, who is a peaceful, the man who is a peaceful lover, a man who loves peace and who peacefully demanded, that the people of Biafra who have suffered enough, who have been treated so unfairly, should be given a chance to run their own, independent country. I mean, if the Nigerian government didn't want them, why keep them? Are they slaves? Why keep them as in a condition of perpetual, servitude? Nnamdi Kanu led a peaceful protest, and they spoke peacefully. He never agitated for war. He never agitated for fighting. He has never encouraged any person to kill the other. He's not an arsonist. He's not anything negative. But here we can see a professor living in the comfort of the government, his residence in the government home in Anambra State, saying that releasing Nnamdi Kanu was no longer necessary. It will not achieve any results. I don't know where Professor Ludo based his hypothesis. I don't know where he got his, his facts and figures from. But I want to assure you all that the professor, the governor of Anambra State, erred. He has not spoken well. He is highly in the negative. He does not mean well. For him to say, recant at this stage, that Nnamdi Kanu should continue to be held in the DSS junta under inhuman conditions is a very wicked, very frivolous, and totally unacceptable conclusion, coming from a man who is highly placed as a governor of, one of the Biafran states. It shocks me, it hurts me that Soludo, who is a professor, Soludo, whose parents encountered all the bias, all the prejudice, all the near annihilation, endured, suffered, meted to the Igbo people, to the Biafrans, can come up today and say, keeping Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS junta is far better than getting him out. That is the highest level of hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy of the highest order. That shows that the so-called professor is not thinking clearly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to begin to think about why a servant minister, our own, beautiful, delectable damsel, the wife of our former military Biafran General Dame Odumogojuku, came to the whole world. He got the mass media involved. He got social media involved. She came up and told the whole world, I have it on great authority that Nnamdi Kanu will be released soon. I've heard from my principal, and he has confirmed to me that Nnamdi Kanu will be set free unconditionally. So you people, you Biafrans, you Southeasterners, relax and calm down. Things shall be well. I can assure you, Nnamdi Kanu will be celebrating the Christmas with his loved ones, free, without any encumbrances whatsoever. These are the kind of things we hear. When we hear them from authorities, if you don't believe a serving minister, if you can't trust a serving minister's statements and judgment, if you can't receive a serving minister's proclamations like this, then what hope? What hope for the common man? If a governor, if a senator, if a minister assures you that your maximum leader will be released in no distant time, and it turns out that no such thing was going to happen, it means that we are in jeopardy. It means that, of course, we are in a zoo world. We are in a place where anything can happen and anything can be said, anything can be decided at any point in time. Amen. When a highly placed government official comes out and makes a proclamation telling you that they have a special information, they have it from the grapevine, not from the grapevine, they heard it from the horse's mouth, and then it turns out to be nothing but true. That means, who do we trust now? Who do we trust? If we can trust our senators of Eastern Biafran descent, if we can trust our governors who are administrators, who are governing Biafran territories and governments, if we can trust ministers who, for some of them, who have a privileged relationship with, our general, Biafran general, Emeka Odumegwu, the first man who declared the sovereign state of Biafra as a republic. If we can trust people who are close to him, who share a special relationship with him, who were once his wives, then alas, Biafra land is doomed. We are doomed because who do we run to? Who do we trust? That means to your tents, O Biafrans, we have no leader, we have no person listening for us, we have no person talking for us, we have nobody, no leader who is interested in our welfare. So, fellow freedom lovers, you can hear today avid American veterans, of Biafran descent. They have come out again under the able leadership of, of Onya. Yes, they have come up to say, look, it's about time. We think it's about time. Their president, Dr. Sylvester Onya, said it's about time that Nnamdi Kanu is released. We don't know why they're still holding him. There's no justification, legal or otherwise. There's no justification whatsoever to continue to hold this peaceful man, this leader of thought, this activist. He's a political activist. This peaceful, non-violent protest activist. Why are we holding him? And equally, the youth empowerment, the 370 Youth Empowerment Network, come up again and say, look, why are you holding this man? There's no need. You have released other people in the past. The Southwest had their Sunday Igboho, and you released him, even though he wanted an Oduduwa state, a sovereign Oduduwa state. He was a secessionist. Why did you release him? The Meta Allah from the Northeast, you allow them go. The Boko Haram insurgent, when you arrest them, you pardon them, and you settle them, you recruit them back into your armed forces. Why are you holding this man? Why is the Biafra man's case different? Why are you holding Nnamdi Kanu? Why is there, any time that something concerns the Southeast, concerns Igbo land, why is there a different level of judgment? Why is it that anything concerning the Southeast takes a different turn? When it comes to the North Central, Northeast, anything about the North, it is done with speedy dispatch. They are allowed to go unconditionally. But when it comes to Southwest, Sunday Igboho and go, they are allowed to go. And they said, no, it's unconditionally. But when it comes to the South, of course, again, they're allowed to go. The joint militants stopped everything about oil production in Nigeria, want up international oil companies, chased away, they kidnapped their leaders, made Nigeria ungovernable, but eventually they were allowed to go unconditionally. Even one of their brothers, Jonathan, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, was eventually made the vice president and eventually became the president of this country in a manner to assuage the South and make the oil business within Nigeria continue to flow. But when it comes to the Southeast, when it comes to things pertaining to the Igbo, to the Biafrans, there seems to be a deliberate attempt to frustrate every opportunity to make sure their own judgment is different, to make sure that they're frustrated, to make sure that they suffer the greatest level of humiliation, to make sure that injustice prevails, to make sure that every attempt is made, to ostracize them, to convict them, and to destroy them. And so it's very unfair when you are asking the Igbo, the Biafrans, to continue to remain in Nigeria. When you tell them that you have made Nigeria governable for them, when you say you have made Nigeria conducive for them, and they begin to see these things, glaring things, that their people are hated, their sons and daughters are treated with derision, despicable, attitude. When they see that different rules, different laws are enacted for them, when they're held with different laws, all attempts will be made to convict them. They will go through the whole judicial process. But when it comes to other regions, to other parts of this country, they are treated with kid gloves. They are treated with kid gloves, with kindness. But anything Southeast, anything Biafran, anything that has to be Igbo, they are treated with the highest level of wickedness, highest level of, hatred, acrimony, and injustice. It doesn't all go well. I mean, it's not right at all. This is what Mazi Nnamdi stood for. This is what Mazi Nnamdi protested against. This is what he called the attention of the world to see, that it is not fair. Indeed, it's not fair. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Why would one part of this country be treated as second fiddles? Why should they be treated as if they don't matter? Why should they be denied every opportunities, both judicially, extrajudicially, both socially, in social amenities, both in provisions of developmental opportunities, developmental projects? They are deprived. In terms of employment, in terms of business, they are frustrated. I mean, why does the Igbo man suffer so much? Why does the Southeasterner suffer so much in this country called Nigeria? Why is he hated with a pathological hatred? Why is his things different? Why is it that every time it comes to his matter, it is treated like using a hammer to kill a fly? Every time it concerns the Biafra man, every time it concerns the Igbo man, his own case is different. While others go, why they are patted at the back and told go and sin no more. Why this northern man is patted at the back, told to go and sin no more. Why the Boko Haram activists, why the man who has slaughtered so many people, why the Meta Island who killed so much, why the Fulani herdsmen, they are patted at the back, said go, sin no more, go take this money, join the armed forces, damn the police, take this money and start your life. But when it comes to Sunday, he's patted at the back, told to go home, go and sin no more. Your sins are forgiven. But when it comes to the Southeast, anything about the Igbo man, anything about the Biafra, his own case is different. Every level of legal authority, every level of security operative, every level of, highest level of the law in the land is brought to make sure they cut him down. They bring him down, they frustrate him, they annihilate him, they make his case different, they shame him. And yet when these people say they want to go, you say, don't go anywhere. Nigeria is okay for you. You should remain here. That is the highest level of wickedness. That is acrimony of the highest end. That means the activities, the wicked wanton destruction of life and property that ensued from 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 70 is still ever recurring. It's still ever recurring in the 21st century. But this time it's taking a new look. It's taking a new dimension. It is veiled, surreptitiously done. It is done now. They're not killing them, but they're frustrating them. They're making sure they jail them. They're making sure they don't enjoy any reprieve. How can a government that promised a reprieve? You promised a reprieve. You promised to release this man, including saying it in front of your the Minister for State, who came and assured her people, told her people, calm down, calm down. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is coming out soon. I have it on authority. We didn't know that we were being hoodwinked. We didn't know that we were being deceived. We didn't know that this was a deliberate ploy to deceive us. Yes, to put us in a perpetual state of confusion. This is a man, a peaceful lover, as Nnamdi Kanu, who has spent 4 Christmas now in the dungeon of the DSS, a place that has been described as even not suitable, for a life sentence criminal, for a man who's sentenced to death, and you bring up a young, British citizen who, because he came and spoke about the welfare of his people, who announced it to the whole world, who told the whole world, who brought out revelations. I say the activities of 1966, 67, 68, 69, 70 are still on. Those were arrangements that frustrated the Igbo, that attempted to annihilate the Igbo. They're still there. The Igbo man is still treated like a second-class pedo. The Igbo man is still frustrated to attain any position in the land. The Igbo man is still made to feel inferior, but which we refuse to be. The Igbo man has no hope in this junta called Nigeria. He said, look, if you don't want these people to be, if you don't want them to live, if you don't want them to aspire, then go your way. Go your way and let them be. Go your way and let them be. Let them go their way. And they said this. Of course, what did the government do? They made every effort to grab him. They caught him in Kenya, extradited him from Kenya down to Nigeria, and kept him in very controversial circumstances, which even the world, I'm surprised that even the Kenyan authorities, allowed that to happen. I'm surprised United Kingdom allowed this to happen to their citizens. This is the highest level of betrayal. And since then, for 4 years now, they have kept this man in the DSS dungeon. Every other time frustrating him. When he goes to court, they make sure his lawyers don't meet him. When the lawyers want to meet him, they bug his detention place so that they can hear what the lawyer is saying and give it to the opposition. That no manner of wickedness they have not exhibited against Mazen Nnamdi. It's even at the point his life was threatened. They attempted to poison him and all that. And we're asking, when you do laws, is laws not for the generality of the people? Why is it that one people's law is different, the other people's law is different? You give to the Hausa man a different law, much easier law, much more peaceful one, much more considerate, much more unconditional. You give to the Yoruba man an easier one, easier, much more considerate, people-oriented. But when it comes to the Southeast, every level of wickedness is exhibited. There is a deliberate attempt to frustrate, to annihilate, to destroy, and to permanently delete him from the geographical region called Nigeria. The government propaganda has continued. Look at our own brother, our own prime minister, who was doing a peaceful demonstration in Finland. The Nigerian, this junta government, made sure they bribed their way. They did everything, blackmailed him, went to Finnish president, like stop, did all kinds of things, bribed the Finnish police, everything they did to make sure they arrest Simon Ekpa. And as soon as he was arrested, they started celebrating. All over the globe, people saw Nigerian government celebrating. They were celebrating, yes, we've arrested him. Yes, we've gotten this man. Yes, we're going to deal with him. Finnish authorities have tried him to rot. Even when you finish with him, bring him here, he will experience the worst form of treatment he has ever seen in life. I mean, why would you celebrate somebody's negativity in somebody's life? Why would you celebrate somebody's misfortune? But anyway, we are consoled. We are assured. We know that someday soon, our able prime minister out. Someday soon, he'll be released. Someday soon, he'll be cleared. Someday soon, yes, we will see what is happening. And the shame will be unto those people who are shouting, crucify him, crucify him. They will be shocked. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me not dwell much upon this. Most important thing is the way it is. The way it is, Nigeria has failed the Southeast people. Nigeria has failed the Biafrans. Our cause is always different. But we're not ignorant of the devices of the enemy. And we are saying, no matter how it is, no matter what is happening, they will be shamed at the last. They will be shamed at the last. Yes. So fellow freedom lovers, fellow Biafrans, yes, the whole world is aware that keeping Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the dungeon of the DSS is not justified It's wickedness of the higher order, and it's a political, has political undertones. Let us be guided. Let us be careful. Let us not be derailed. Let us be focused on vigorously pursuing the sovereign United States of Biafra. That's where our future is. That's where our hope lies. That's where freedom is. Let us not be deceived by this so-called humane government who has appointed the wife of our, general, Biafra general, as, Minister for External Affairs, just only to deceive us, just only to befuddle us, just only to make us feel part and parcel of a failed, clueless, useless government that means no good to the Southeast. Ladies and gentlemen, praise up. Let us join hands once again with our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Ohabueze. Let us make sure, some of us who are able, some of us who are still strong, let us join the recruitment of Biafran security operatives so that the security apparatus of the Biafra regional government in exile will strengthen. Let us build up the security apparatus of Biafra land. Together, we'll make the sovereign United States of Biafra a strong entity, indivisible, powerful, and, self-sufficient. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all. God bless you. Take care. God bless.